Hi everyone, my name is Priya. Welcome to my channel Yakshani Priya Fine Art. In today's video I'm going to show you the art supplies that I use for my oil painting. Let's start with the oil paint. I use the Artiste brand oil paint. This paint works well with glazing as well as applying the paint in areas where I want the paint to be more opaque. I find this paint to have a creamy consistency which goes very smoothly onto the canvas when I'm applying it. In the past, when I just started oil painting, I used to use the Reeves oil paint. So if you're looking for a cheaper option or just want to starting out and want to try out oil paints, the Reeves will be fine, but currently I'm using the oil color, Artiste Oil Colour. The oil painting mediums that I use with my oil paint is the Winsor and Newton Liquin Original. This medium helps in applying the paint more smoothly as opposed to using the paint straight out of the tube, which will not have smooth coverage. The Liquin Original also speeds up drying time between layers of paint, so usually if I paint today, I leave the painting to dry overnight and I can paint another layer the next day. Usually without the Liquin Original paint takes a while to dry, usually a few days to a week, sometimes even more depending on how thick the paint was applied. Also for fine details like highlights or the eyes or anything detailed work, blades of grass, I usually use the Winsor and Newton Liquin Fine Detail. This is perfect for doing any detail work that you need to do on the painting or any fine details. The brushes that I usually use detail brushes, liner brushes, Flibert. I do use flats and round brushes as well as fan brushes to do my trees, but for majority of my painting, whether it's painting my animals, tigers, birds, I use my liners, my detailers and my Flibert. Flibert I found to be very helpful. I use different sizes of Flibert, and I see even to blend in the colors and smoothen them out, I use the large Flibert, which is perfect for the techniques that I use. The liners that I use and the detailer brushes are the Montmartre detail and liner brushes. These come in a set of 5 brushes which are perfect for any detailed work that you need to do or any small areas that you need to cover or fine details. When cleaning my brushes during my painting, I usually wipe off any excess paint with a paper towel and then I rinse in mineral turpentine. Turpentine does have a strong odor, so it is advisable to keep the room well ventilated when using it, and then I change my color to whichever color I'm using. This prevents you from, if you were using blue paint for example and then you're going to yellow, if you have blue paint still on the brush, when you are using that same brush for another color it becomes green. So that to avoid that, make sure you rinse your brushes thoroughly between each color as you work on your palette. Okay, I use the usual palette. I've been using this palette for many years. As you can see, this palette has been stained a lot, but I still use this palette. I see it's perfect. It's just your plain simple plastic palette that I use for my oil paints. Okay, the canvas that I use is normally triple primed. I don't have a particular brand. As long as it's triple primed, I use that canvas and it must be suitable for oil paints. I have different sizes, depends on what the subject matter of my painting is going to be, which I choose the canvas that I'm going to need. But initially when I was starting up with oil paints, I used to use canvas panels, but now lately I've been using stretch canvases much more. I clean my brushes after every painting session to avoid damaging the brushes. I wipe off any excess paint with a paper towel and then I rinse my brush in mineral turpentine. After that I wipe it off, and the cleaner that I use for washing my brushes is the Masters Brush Cleaner and Preserver. I see that this cleaner preserves my brushes and they last much longer than just washing it with normal soap or other cleaners that I have tried in the past. Okay, when using the cleaner I usually wet the brush. After I wet the brush, I move it in a back and forth motion into the cleaner until the brush has got no color coming out from it. Thereafter I usually rub it onto my palm to make sure that all excess is off, excess paint and excess cleaner is off, and then I rinse it under running water and dab it up with paper towels, and I store my brushes flat to dry. Never store your brushes standing upright, because the water gets into the ferrule of the brush and the bristles can be loosened. So always store your brushes or dry your brushes flat. So these are the art supplies that I use for my oil paintings. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to share or have any questions, please comment below. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button at the bottom and subscribe.